Hello, hello, my magical friends. This is Witchful Ways with day 2 of our 7 days of self-care. So today we're going to talk about starting and ending your day with a little bit of self-care, right? Yesterday we went over what is self-care, what can I think about doing for myself, why should I do it? And then a little bit of a journal prompt. And today we're going to talk about starting and ending your day with some self-care. So the first thing that's going to help you in creating your self-care ritual is to choose activities that are very meaningful to you and that you enjoy, right? Why would you do self-care if you don't enjoy doing it? So pick things that you're going to enjoy. This is just like witchcraft. It is 100% your practice. So you want to be sure that it's customized to suit your needs in order so that you get the most benefit out of your time, right? Your return on investment of time. You want to do your self-care so that you're actually receiving benefit from taking the time to doing your self-care. So I want you to take the list that you made yesterday of things that helps you feel relaxed, peaceful, excited, and happy, and pick out the activities that can be done in a short amount of time and easily fit them into your life without any really special equipment or tools. Especially when you begin your practice, the things that you choose to do should be as simple as possible. So success builds on success, right? By adding small or simple things at the start, you build up happy pathways that make you want to continue, right? Happy habits, things that kind of make you go, oh, that was pretty easy to fit that into my schedule. And then you can build upon and add a little bit more. And that creates a whole new practice, right? So all the big things come in from very small beginnings. So that's what we're going to work on. So if you really want to quote unquote win at self-care, you have to add your rituals into the most convenient parts of your day. So some people can afford to take a whole, week off to dedicate to their self-care, but you don't have to commit to, taking a 2-week vacation or anything, of course, unless you really want to. But by building your self-care rituals into times that you're already somewhat kind of flexible, incorporating something new into the space is going to be a lot less stressful for you. You're just going to be able to fit it in, just kind of slide it in there, right? A lot of people go with morning or evening routines, right when they wake up or right before they go to bed or go to sleep each night. Getting up 15 minutes earlier than usual, maybe, and setting aside a window during that usual nighttime schedule are the majority of the time things that most of us can fit into our day, right? If we get up, if you're not an early riser who likes to get up 15 minutes earlier, I get that. But this is, again, doing something completely and 100% for you. So maybe it's instead you have a 15-minute break at work. So instead of going into the break room and eating a candy bar or whatever, that you could go out to your car or into a separate space and do your self-care ritual then, right? So just fitting it into wherever you can be consistent with it, because that's a lot less stressful when you put it into your day at a consistent time, right? It doesn't shake things up as much. Okay? There are, though, of course, those that may be designating your, again, lunch breaks for your self-care time or your, whatever you need to be doing. So I have somebody that actually, they tend to wake up at 3:00 in the morning every morning. That was just something, they didn't plan to do it. It was just something that happens for them. Like every morning, like between 3 and 3:30, I wake up and it takes me like a half hour to go back asleep. I said, well, why don't you make that part of your self-care ritual? Why don't you stick your 15 minutes into that time? Because then, even though you're up for that amount of time, it is time where you keep yourself at a relaxed, non-active, right? Like you're not up doing jumping jacks or anything like that. Of course, don't do this if you decide that exercise is your short-term goal. But so you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Consider activities like writing a gratitude journal entry maybe before bed, listening to music while having your morning coffee, going for a short walk over your lunch hour. A lot of trial and error is going to happen, right? To be able to find a moment to call your own every single day. So you might want to go, okay, I'm going to do it at lunchtime. And then you realize that through the week, you can do it because you're away from your home at work and you have that 30 minutes or whatever it is. Okay, I get that every day. So I'm going to do it then. But then on the weekends, it's everything thrown off, right? So that may not work for you then. Because again, consistency is going to be the key in this to begin with. So moving it to your morning, maybe shortening it from 15 minutes to 5 minutes, right? Whatever you need to do to be able to get it into your daily schedule. But with that, because I just said it's best to come up with a routine that's going to be consistent, that works for you and that you can stick to. Committing it to a particular schedule is going to help you create a habit that's going to ensure that you get the self-care that you need. But with that being said, we have to be flexible. You have to give yourself some grace. There are some days that are going to be way more hectic than others, and you may not be able to fit it in to wherever you're anticipated it to be or whatever your specific activity it is. And that's okay. The next day is going to be a new day and you can try it again. And then pretty soon you're going to find yourself wanting to take part in those rituals, and getting back on track is going to be easy for you, right? When you're used to, okay, I just need 15 minutes to myself, and you don't have that, right? You want that back. You yearn for it back. So therefore you make the effort to put it back into your schedule. Getting into the practice of regular self-care does not have to be difficult. Making a few adjustments in the existing schedule that you have in your day can free up space somewhere in your day. Choosing things that will energize you, refresh you, and that are simple in nature are going to make getting started with it a breeze. So again, even if it's just sitting and listening to one song with your eyes closed as you sip on your morning coffee, that can have intense self-care re-energizing feelings for you. So with that, let's think about, or have you think about, where in your day are there natural transition periods? And in those times, can you build a self-care ritual around or during those time frames? And you're like, what? So let me talk about, because right now, of course, I work from home, right? Witchful Ways is my full-time job, my personal business. And I spend a lot of my day working on all the stuff that's happening in the Sister Circle membership. Shameless plug there, right? So if you're not in the Sister Circle membership, check it out. But before that, I worked out of the home for many years. And I had young children. So there's a time when I'm looking around at a certain point and was just like, I'm struggling with everything, right? Like my mental health feels like I'm so frustrated all the time. My emotions are all over the place. There may be physical aspects, right? That are coming up like, I'm just so tired all the time. When you're trying to balance everything, you have to have balance. And that's where I sat back and went, okay, you know what? Something needs to shift, and something needs to shift fast. Because I can't keep burning the candle at both ends like this. I can't keep trying to do it all without having time for myself. So I sat down and thought about it, journaled it out, which again, my journaling is just writing out a bunch of random thoughts on paper and then going back the next day and looking at it and go, oh yeah, I see what I was thinking about there. Right? And then you realize that, you know what, there may be time blocks and transition times that you can fit things into. So one of the things that I did was kind of go through and go, okay, what do I do? Let me put the time frame down of what I do every day. So if I wake up at 7 and then, I'm up and I'm getting ready for work between 7 and 7:45, and then I leave and it takes me, 19 minutes to get to my office, and then I'm at work from 9 to 5, and then I drive home from the office for 19 minutes, and then I have to have dinner and family time, right? Cooking dinner and family time. And then maybe with my kids, you had to help them with their homework and their studies. And then maybe watch TV for an hour, and then getting ready for go to bed. It takes me a half hour. Wash my face, do whatever, to get ready for bed. So write it all out. And then go, you know what? Is there time in between of where I'm doing things? Or if now that I know what my time audit is for my day, can I carve out some time in there? And here's the thing that is the kicker is sometimes there's time, but we don't want to give up that time. So if your favorite show is on for an hour and that's all you watch every day, and you don't want to carve 15 minutes out of that 1 hour, right? You don't want to not see your show. Because in a way, that's kind of a form of self-care, right? You enjoy watching it, so you're going to take your hour and watch your show. What I came to find out was that the 19 minutes that I spent on my way to and from work every day were, I don't want to call it wasted time, but that was time that I could be using for something else. Right? Now, of course, I had to drive because I drove myself there. So that means I couldn't be meditating or anything like that on the way to and from. But I was able to have some favorite music that I would be able to just think with or sing with. And that became a part of my self-care. I was going to be having that 19 minutes to myself in the car every day, twice a day, so I might as well utilize it. And that's where I started with getting an actual self-care routine in. Right? 10 to 15 minutes, that's all you need. Just take those little pockets of time that you find and make it sacred space for yourself. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to, build it all out on day one. Find those little pockets here and there and fill those gaps with something that brings you joy. So if you're watching 3 hours of TV just because you have your TV on, you could probably take 15 minutes. But you could also correlate it into other things that you're doing as well. Right? Okay, so today we talked more about scheduling and finding that time for yourself. When you put yourself on a priority list, it changes the dynamic of your life. I am not kidding. If you put yourself as a priority, it is going to change the dynamic of your life. And that doesn't mean you always put yourself above everything else. I'm not saying, okay, we're going narcissistic now, right? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have to realize that you need this self-care. When you do that and you act upon it, you will have major changes. By setting aside that time for yourself for things that recharge your battery, that fill your cup, right? You're going to be better able to be and do all the other wonderful things that you are and that you want to do in your life. And you can do that from a place of love and abundance instead of from stress and the feelings of lack of. And there's always a way forward. So today's journal prompt, right? Yesterday we did finding out what it was we liked. Today's journal prompt is, where can you carve out 15 to 30 minutes every day to give back to yourself? Let's even go 10 to 15 minutes. Let's start with that, right? Where can you carve out 10 to 15 minutes every day to give back to yourself? Write them all down. Okay, that's it for day 2. We will see you tomorrow on day 3. Have a wonderfully magical rest of your day.